Hello, welcome to another online training sessions from University of St. Jamshoro. My name is Dr. Dishan Bhatti. I'm an associate professor in the same university. Today, basically, we are going to talk about how we use Zoom to schedule an online meeting or an online lecture sessions. So Zoom, we talked about in previous lectures as well, that it's a very powerful, it's a very commonly used application that you can use to schedule meetings, online classes, online lectures or webinars, or for whatever purpose you want to do, where you want multiple participants to participate with you online. As soon as you log into this system, you will be presented with four main icons. These four main icons represent four main tasks that you can do primarily within the Zoom application. New meeting basically means that you start a new meeting immediately. Okay, means as soon as you click on it, the new meeting begins. However, there is no participant here. Now remember, Zoom is a meeting software. It's not like a calling software like a Skype or like WhatsApp call, where you select a user and give them a call and they pick up and then you start talking to each other. However, this is a meeting. So you start a meeting and then you invite your colleagues, your students, your friends into that meeting. Until you and unless you invite them, nobody will be able to join your meeting. So it's different from a calling application like a WhatsApp call or like Facebook calls or like any other Skype calling, because in Skype calling you directly call that number, so the people would know that somebody is calling, you pick up that call. Meetings are basically that you schedule a meeting, you start a meeting, you become a host. Once you start a meeting, you have to invite other participants. They can be your friends, your family members, they can be your colleagues, they can be your faculty members or your students if you're taking online classes. So you have to actually invite them. So they won't know automatically that how to connect this meeting. Nobody would be able to connect this meeting unless you invite them, give them something called your user ID and passwords. So this is the main thing for Zoom that you have to remember. In a Zoom, there are basically two users. One is called a host, the other is called a participants. One is a host is again one primary main, the person who starts the meeting, who initiates the meeting. The participants will be normal people who would be able to join the meeting. So initially here we are basically working as a host and we would be able to host a meeting. Then in order for the participants to join this meeting, you would have to provide them something called a meeting link or meeting user ID and password. Okay, in order for the participants to connect with your meeting, you would require to generate a user ID or meeting ID and password, which is again done automatically by the system, so you don't have to worry about that. So how do we do that? Let's go ahead and do it. So new meeting basically means you start a new meeting immediately and then you invite the people after starting the meeting. Sometimes it just works if your people are already connected with you on WhatsApp and you can say just hang on, I will start a meeting, and then you'll send them the link. Join a meeting again means that somebody is invited you would already have either a link or a meeting ID. You click on this and enter your meeting ID to join a meeting. Schedule a meeting means that you are going to schedule a meeting which may occur after an hour, after half an hour, tomorrow, day after tomorrow, or 10 days later, and then which is basically what we usually tend to do. Commonly we schedule a meeting and then we set a time that on this date at this time this meeting would begin, and then it would generate the link for us. The main reason for scheduling a meeting is that it already generates the link for us, meeting ID or meeting link for connecting with that meeting. So we email it and send it to all the participants and recipients and whoever we want to connect them, that there's a meeting scheduled tomorrow at this time. This is the link to connect with it, or meeting ID and password to join this meeting. So everybody knows that I have a meeting tomorrow on a Zoom. User ID and password are already given to you. So scheduling is again one aspect to it. Sharing a screen means that again you have certain participants and you want to share and discuss something online, like an online lecture or like an online presentation. You already have a PPT and you just want to discuss that. So you don't need a cameras or anything. You just want the screen to be shared. You can use that as well. So these are four main options we basically need to explore. Let's start with something called join a new meeting. Create a new meeting, and then we will see how we can invite the participants in this lecture. Okay, so once you click on a new meeting, it would start your camera, it would connect your audio and recording devices with your system, and this is the basic typical interface that you get to see. Here it is showing me my laptop camera. My face is there. It is showing I can go into enter full screen mode. Full screen mode would appear, or I can exit that. Again, this is just a security that this communication is encrypted. This is a new feature that Zoom has incorporated after lots of security concerns. Now they are trying to make sure that it's more secure. Again, so at the top, this is just information's sake. If I click on this one, this information again gives me data of how I can allow people to connect with my meeting. So meeting ID, this is my meeting ID, this is my meeting password. This is what actually I need to share it with other people who would like to connect with me. Or I can send them an invitation URL as well. Okay, so once you have this URL, you can also connect with this meeting as well. Now I will show you how you can join meetings in another sessions. So now in this way, we just basically in this lecture we just talk about how we schedule and create basically meetings. Okay, so currently this is the participant ID. So some information is there. Obviously this is not selectable and copyable. Only I can copy this URL. So I will show you another way how easily we can do it in other ways as well. So basically this is the information about my meeting. Obviously I can change this. I can write ever Zoom meeting for online sessions. Okay, I can give it whatever name to my target, so that when people see this, they know what is the title or what the purpose or agenda of the meeting, in other words, is. At the bottom, now this is where the actually main deal is. You would see mute icon, stop video icon, security, participants, share screen, and more. Okay, if I increase the size of this window, I think the more option would allow me to have a more elaborated reactions that I can get. Right, so here you go. So more is gone. Basically record and these options are available. Now the most important thing when you work with Zoom is you make sure you have this mute icon unmute. If I click on this one, now basically it means that my Zoom is mute. Now I will not be able to talk. My voice would not go into this meeting. This is the main problem lots of people have when they start with a meeting. They are unable to find this icon here. So if I uncheck it, now you can see this green bar is moving. This indicates that the microphone is working. It is detecting my mic and everything is going fine. Video, again, this is my video available. If I uncheck it, the cross means that now my video won't be transferred. Only the picture that you see is basically being transferred to the video or to the user. If I uncheck it, now I have my normal video back in. Similarly, security, we don't need to worry about that. The participants is the main thing that we can have to clear. We have to work on it. So if you click on the participants window, a tab will appear that will show all the participants that are connected with your video. Now here basically currently, because there are nobody and I've started a meeting, my meeting is already going on but nobody is there because we have not invited anybody to join the video. So as soon as I click on invite, basically it will give me something called invite people to join these meetings. Now if I have connected my phone or I have invited my contacts with it, I can select the people from here. I can send them email as well, and the email will automatically be configured with all user ID, passwords, and the meeting links to be configured with that. Or basically I think you can simply say copy invitations. Okay, once you click on the copy invitation, in either field there's a copy invitation, means it will automatically copy the invitation on your clipboard. So now if I go into notepad, okay, for example, and if I come if I go back into my notepad and come here and click on paste, now you would see that I get this is the information that is copied. Join Zoom meeting, the Zoom ID is here, Zoom link is here, and meeting ID and passwords are here. So once you click on copy invitation, something like this automatically is copied for us. Okay, so this is something very useful. So this is basically what you now need to send it to your users, your students or colleagues, that in order to join this meeting today, kindly follow this meeting link or meeting ID and password. So once you have that, you would be able to join this meeting sessions. Okay, that's as simple as that. So once I do it, what I do is I have it on my cell phone. Let me join this meeting, and what I do is I give it my meeting ID, and again on another lecture we will show you how you can do that. 7298 and 6543. Click on join meeting. And now it asks me for my password, so let me give the password 5J, I think. Okay, so now as soon as I connect with my mobile phone onto the same meeting using the same meeting ID and password, you would see that that's I get this information here as well, that one person is waiting. Obviously it's me from my cell phone, and would you like to admit or not? Now this is what we call a waiting room is. So the people will not be able to directly join your meeting. By default, they would be included in something called a waiting room. What is waiting room? Basically, people are now connected with your meeting, but they are not able to join the meeting. They are connected but not joined inside the meeting, because as a host you have not allowed them to join them directly. Okay, so until unless you admit them, you would not be able to see them in your meeting. So this is another security feature, that if you even publicly announce the IDs, but if you don't know somebody, you would not be they would not be able to join. You can remove them as well. But if you click on admit, now basically you would see that that other people is able to join your meeting. So it's joining, and as soon as they are able, the connection is established, basically you would be able to see that person inside the meeting as well. So here you go, both my PCs or users are basically able to connect. So now I am able to connect on the both systems, on my mobile phone as well as my desktop, and you will get to see these two views together. You can ask people to join as many as 100 people who are able to join this meeting very easily on a free basic plan. Remember, we are using free basic plan right now. We will talk about how we can do that in later other plans, but this is what you basically need to do. On a free, 100 people can join, and now my meeting is basically being scheduled and working online. So this is as simple as easy it is basically working. You can work with here. You can basically now come into chat, and you can also send messages as a chat to other colleagues, other people. You can send messages privately as well. So if you click on this ID, go into more, you can see I can chat privately here. And by default, this is to everyone, right? So if you click on chat, you are able to send messages to everyone. Otherwise, if you click on a user name, click on more chat, now I will be able to send what we call a private message. So as a host, I can communicate with other participants privately, as well as I can communicate with them as everybody is. So if I have a students, I can send a message to them and is publicly to all students, or I can send a message to individual students, for example, to turn their mics off or turn their videos off, or there's too much noise or voice is not clear. We can contact them via chat as well, and they can ask questions as well. Like in online sessions, we sometimes say that while I'm giving lecture, do not disturb me because it's online and we are working. Leave your messages in your chat, and your questions and queries and your comments. So whatever queries you're coming in, just type it in the chat for everybody. Then in a Q&A session, I will read each questions from the chat, and I will try to explain and answer them. So it becomes more easy in that way as well. So this is how basically you set up. In your mute, this is again, I will reiterate, the two main things that we need to worry as a participant, as a host. We need to mute and mute the sound. So if once you log in, you need to ensure your sound is working fine. If it is not working fine, we will see how we can explore these settings later on in another sessions. Okay. Then let's end this session, and when you click on end, it said should you leave meeting or end for all. As a host, I have these two options. As a participant, you would have only option leave meeting. As a host, because I'm hosting, I can end meeting for all. So no matter how many participants there are, everybody will basically be disconnected and the meeting will end. As a meeting leave alone, basically I would leave the meeting, but the meeting would still be going on and people can still carry on and discuss that. But as a main host, I will just click on end meeting for all. So that meeting is basically now closed. So this is how basically you can connect a new meeting. As a host, you can just click on a new meeting, go to participants, click on invite, and create that link and send it to your friends, families, or over WhatsApp or over other email, and they can basically now easily use that same ID and password to join in. This is Dr. Ishan Bhatti. Thank you very much for watching. If you're having any problems or any connectivity issues, do let us know and we will try to help you as much as we can. Thank you very much.